Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel, Batmanome, and I am Rob. So I'm coming to you a little late with this review. Just some issues I had with my last video, so I just kind of decided to wait to put this one out. But this is my review to you of my trip, my experience at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, Hollywood 2018. So I got my notes. I got the website up here. Just want to make sure I have everything thorough before I start. So let me just start off by saying I did not go to the Jabberwocky show, so I cannot give you an accurate review of the Jabberwockies, but I'm gonna say it's probably the same as the year past and the year before that and the year before. I forget how many they've been there a few years. But anyways, I did not see the show. Sorry, just not a fan of it. Anyways, the scare zones. Let's talk about the scare zones. The scare zones are really good, but the standout scare zones for me were the Holidays in Hell. There was some parts of it that were so like kind of gory and scary that they turned around and became a little funny. Like they had this crazy demented bunny statue thing. This 4th of July thing with these kids that blown off their limbs. Yeah, so it's very you'll get a little bit of the laughing, the afraidness, all in that scare zone. And also the other scare zone that stood out to me was the Monster Masquerade scare zone, just because of the detail and the costume design. Just it was a really good scare zones. Those two. Let me talk about the Terror Tram. Hollywood Harry's Dead Time Stories. This Terror Tram. I'm gonna cut this into two halves for this Terror Tram. The first half of it, from when you get off the tram and you start walking through the hotel, and that area was good, like an 8 or 9. Just the gore. I don't feel like there were really like scares, like pop outs, like mazes, but just like the way that the characters played their part was really good. Like that part from the hotel area, I'm gonna give an 8. Now there's like a mid area where kind of killed it for me, where you had to, before you walked through the War of the Worlds set, they made you wait in a line, and that kind of killed it for me. They had a couple characters walking through there, but it wasn't, it kind of killed the scare, it kind of killed the momentum of the maze that second half. And there wasn't a lot of characters in that part. It was just almost for me a huge difference between the first half and the second half. The second half I would say is like a 5. So I'm just gonna come in and say, for as far as Hollywood Harry's Dead Time Story Terror Tram, I'll say it's like a 7. First half was awesome, second half not so great. But now let's get to my first maze. I'll just go over Stranger Things. Now Stranger Things, this was a good maze. This was a really good maze. I wanted a little more of what I just really couldn't say, but I felt like it was missing something for me. Doesn't mean it wasn't a good maze, but I just felt like it was missing something. It had Stranger Things had good set design. It was a good set. You felt like you were in that world of the Stranger. You felt like you were in the world of Stranger Things. But then also Upside Down, when you walked through that section of the maze of the Upside Down, was awesome. It just looked really cool. Now, as far as Stranger Things goes, their main character was the Demogorgon. I don't know, it was good. And I know like other mazes, they had like Jason, Friday the 13th has Jason, and in those mazes, Jason's popping out at you. But just something about the Demogorgon really, I don't know, it didn't do it for me. This is where I say maybe that something was missing for me. But I mean, it was good. The Demogorgon was good. It just, for me, it wasn't great. There was good design. You felt like you were sucked into that world of Stranger Things. There's good scenes, like when you're like, oh, I remember this from the show, I remember this from the season, that certain things that just popped out at you. It was good. Overall, I'm going to give Stranger Things, I'm going to say a 7.5 possibly. All right, now on to Trick or Treat. Now, Trick or Treat was, I felt, really good. Like possibly maybe my second favorite maze of the night. Now, Trick or Treat, let me say this. Let me just stop right there before I get into my Trick or Treat review, and just say one thing that I did notice, and this is with all the mazes, is that the black wall thing. Now, they're in all the mazes. Some years it's really bad, some years it's not. This year it was hit and miss with the black wall parts of the mazes. And here's my biggest thing with the black wall, is that sometimes, at least in my opinion, the maze feels so good that you don't really notice when you're going into black wall parts. It feels more like transitions, where for me, some mazes, I feel like maybe if the maze isn't sucking me in, I feel like those black walls are more noticed. But there is, in my opinion, I could be wrong. If you feel different, let me know. Put it in the comments. In my opinion, this year it was a very, like, the endings of every maze were very almost the same. I don't know if anyone else caught that, but maybe it was just my imagination. But I felt like it was hopefully, spoiler right here. If spoilers for the maze endings, if you don't want to know, sorry, but this is just something I gotta say. Like it felt like black wall, a box, scare, black wall, box, scare, and then you walk out. Or there was a couple. It just felt like that for all the mazes. Whatever the main character was, the main character, it was towards the end. It was black wall. You black wall one way, black wall the next way. Here with the box character, black wall, character, black wall character. That's just how it felt to me for every ending of every maze. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. I like I said, I feel like the black walls were there. Some felt more there than others. Other mazes, it felt like transitions. So now to Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat is where I felt like between each story there were good transitions. Now the stories, the way they portrayed the stories in this maze, really good. The way the stories were portrayed, the scenes in the maze were really good. They were good scares. This is one of the mazes where actually I got caught a couple times. There were good scares in this maze. This maze, Trick or Treat, I'm gonna give an 8 out of 10. So 2 thumbs up for Trick or Treat. Now let's move on to the first Purge. I'll get through this pretty quick. Let's see. First Purge. This maze, you could definitely feel the black walls. The Purge, I feel like, needs to go. We've had not a maze of the Purge, but we had Purge Scare Zone. The Purge Gauntlet felt like a maze. So, and it's just not, I think it just needs to go. In my opinion, for the Purge, I'm going to say 5 or maybe 4.5 out of 10. A 10. Now next is Poltergeist. Poltergeist, I will say this. There are black walls here, and you do notice them, but I feel like the maze was so good that it kind of made me overlook those black walls. Now, good scares, also good scenes. Like, there's iconic scenes in this maze from the movie, so that was pretty cool. Again, black walls, I did fill them, but it's lessened because I felt the maze was good and there were good scares in this maze. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for the Purge. Sorry, not for the Purge, for Poltergeist. 7 out of 10 for Poltergeist. Now, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. This maze, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's my favorite maze. Did have black walls, did have similar endings to what I was talking about as far as, you know, the the scare, Blackwall, scare, Blackwall, especially towards the end. But I felt the scares were good. I felt the go to my notes here. Again, good scares, good scenes. I liked it. I liked it because it was good scares, good scenes. Overall, really just Michael Myers. He's my favorite monster. That's probably why I'm a little biased, but 9 out of 10 for Halloween 4, possibly 9.5. I don't know if anything was a 10 out. You know what? I'm lying. 9.5, 9 out of 10 for Halloween 4. Now, Horrors of Blumhouse Chapter 2. I'll keep it simple because I wasn't a huge fan of it, but nothing in there was really memorable. It's just like, I remember a couple scenes and it was just kind of like, I didn't see the movie, so maybe that had something to do with it, but it just wasn't a huge fan of it. Didn't really feel, I can say the sets were okay, like the scenes were okay, but maybe I didn't see the movie, I didn't feel like connected to it. But overall for me, I'm going to say 5.5 or 5 out of 10. Next, we'll do The Walking Dead. Walking Dead, they add more zombies, but they add more zombies, but it's really the same thing, pretty much that's there. They don't change the maze. They can't change the maze. All they can do is add more characters. Not to be a downer or anything, but like I've stated before, I've been through that maze a lot, and it's kind of boring for me, but we did it anyway, and 4 out of 10 for The Walking Dead. Here we go with for me 10 out of 10 for this maze. Tell you right up front, it wasn't my favorite maze. Halloween 4 was my favorite maze, but this was definitely the best maze. Was Universal Monsters. Now you can tell that this maze was made with they always think a lot, there's a lot of thought put into every maze, but this maze, there was a little something extra put into it. Great maze. Let me just go to my notes here. The monster, there's those iconic, legendary Universal monsters, the Wolfman, Frankenstein, all the monsters that are there, Phantom of the Opera. I don't know how to explain it other than I almost didn't get really scared by their scares because I was so kind of like taking in the sets. The sets were awesome. Like when you walked through there, you felt like wherever you were, you felt like you were there just because how detailed those sets were. The characters were really good. But again, I just felt like me personally, I didn't get scared because of how sucked in to the sets I was. And that's a good thing. And maybe I hardly get scared anyway, as I've stated. But this maze, Universal Monsters, 10 out of 10. Hands down for me, best maze of Universal Monsters, best maze of 2018 Halloween Horror Nights. Anyways, so that is my review. Hopefully it was insightful and entertaining for you. If not, sorry. Maybe my next one will be. But anyways, so that'll do it for today. Sorry I took so long getting it out again. But hopefully you liked it. Please hit that like button, subscribe. Share if you want to. Show your friends. Invite them over. Say, hey, this guy, Batmanome, a.k.a. Rob, is a pretty cool dude. And he gives some, okay reviews on events that we're probably going to attend. And, so like, subscribe, and leave a comment. all that fun stuff. So, all right, until next time, remember, yeah, let's be friends. Subscribe.